Tonight, Netflix employees walking out of the company's Hollywood office after weeks of internal backlash.
Kiss my black ass, America.
With a goblin. Kissing goblins. Ingratiating goblins. In bed with a goblin. Kissing goblins. Ingratiating goblins.
Recently, a handful of Netflix employees and their supporters staged a protest outside of an office for Netflix. Why did this group feel the need to protest? Well, viewer, you see, Netflix had the nerve, the audacity, to let some black man do a stand-up comedy special, and, well, I'm not too sure how to put this to you, viewer. I'm on thin ice with YouTube as it is, but Netflix allowed a black man to have a comedy special where he made fun of trans people.
Oh, hell.
In fact, he made fun of white people, black people, homeless people, church people, people with AIDS people. In true comedian fashion, no one was safe. As a matter of fact, I would call this one of the most diverse and inclusive comedy specials that I've ever seen, so I'm not too sure why these activists are so upset, but whatever. Yes, I'm being purposefully hyperbolic. I'm sure only something like 80% of these activists were mad at Dave for being a free-thinking black man. But of course, I could be wrong. The percentage is probably higher than that. Dave Chappelle's new comedy special, The Closer, has infuriated the usual suspects, and all because he dared to tell some jokes about the trans community. It's almost as if these people have never seen a comedy routine before. To be fair, it does seem like these are the kinds of people who would watch Lily sing willingly back when she did have a show, rest in peace.
Our next gift basket is for Todd Phillips. Todd Phillips, the director of The Joker, has been getting a lot of backlash for the violence depicted in his movie, and more recently, for whining that comedy is dead thanks to woke culture. It's a framed copy of the Rotten Tomatoes score for your movie, School of Scoundrels. Your score is a whopping 26%, and this movie came out in 2006. So it turns out you couldn't write comedy in the pre-woke era either. Enjoy your basket, Todd Phillips.
唯一的朋友是沉默，有很多话儿对你说，我常常渴望见到你的面，在睡梦里等待你的出现。
So I guess it's not completely fair of me to think that these people have any idea of what comedy actually is, so I'll take the L on that one. Sorry everyone, that's on me. Dave's special touched on a lot of serious topics, and there are topics that really seem to have affected him. Sure, this was a stand-up special that was meant for entertainment, but I encourage you to check it out for yourself to get the full context of the comedy special and really get a good idea, a grasp on the message that Dave was trying to get out. Now, the worst thing that anybody could do to a comedian's jokes is try to retell them, and I'm not about to fuck up those jokes and bore you all to death more than I probably already am. Besides, this isn't a review of the comedy special itself. Instead, we're here to take a look at some video footage of these absolutely 100% mentally stable protesters simply attacking some fellow YouTubers. And I already hear some people screeching out now, they weren't attacking YouTubers, they were standing up for their trans allies. Yes, standing up for their trans allies by physically assaulting other people, pushing their heads into concrete, but I'm getting a little too ahead of myself. No pun intended. Before we get into the video, if you enjoy me and the content that I create, be sure to drop a like on this video and share it around. Liking and sharing, as well as commenting on these videos, helps me out more than you could possibly imagine. If you're new to the channel, be sure to watch this video until the end and subscribe if you think I earned it. Netflix employees are furious that a comedian had the audacity to tell jokes and poke fun at the trans community, as if the trans community is somehow immune from being teased. I thought this whole push was to have inclusivity, Well, being a part of the group means that you get to have all of the same rights and privileges as the rest of us, and rightfully so. It also means that you're fair game to be criticized, mocked, and laughed at. This applies to you, it applies to me, my friends, whatever and whoever. No matter what your race is, no matter what your background is, what religion you believe in, what your sexual orientation is, it's all fair game. But you see, these rainbow fascists, they don't agree. They say the trans community is separate, but equal.
So that's what that means.
A small group of Netflix employees and a handful of supporters staged this protest outside of a Netflix office, and they had a ton of press to cover this. I mean, if you look at some of the pictures, it looks like something taken at DashCon. You know, that convention where somebody pissed in a ball pit? I think there was about 100 or so people at this protest, but that's besides the point. These protesters, they were all out there with their signs chanting, "Trans Lives Matter," which, if you watch Dave's special, talk about stealing the black people's thunder. Not everyone was holding a trans sign though. A few people had signs that said things like, "Jokes are funny, Dave is funny, and we like Dave." I know, I hear the collective gasps. How inflammatory of these people to have signs that says jokes are funny. But see, what they misunderstand is these social activists, the NPC crowd, they don't understand jokes. Their programming doesn't allow it. For all the talk of being non-binary, they're pretty binary in their way of thinking. Their world is very black and white. Come to think of it, I think they wish their world was less white, but you know, I'm getting off topic. So here you have these peaceful protesters that are standing up to these bigots that are there to support a black man telling jokes.
Hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
Well, what did these trans activist supporters do? Well, they attacked the guys that were there to show support for Dave. What we're gonna do now is take a look at a few clips and get ready to take some notes, because this is how you peacefully protest.
Yes. Get and leave. There's my weapon.
We're not trying to have anything.
I'm not discussing anything.
Ashley Marie Preston for organizing this wonderful event to hold people accountable. Give a round of applause for Ashley Marie Preston. I am Never Ending Nina. Ashley Marie.
Now, the guys being assaulted in these clips are YouTubers. You may or may not recognize them. One of them is Dick Masterson, and the other one is Vito Gasoldi. Now, I'm not here to talk about Vito or defend anything that Vito has said or done in the past. If you want to know what I'm referring to, you can do some research on it yourself, or just take a look at my Twitter feed. But I think a lot of people are getting distracted from the point that both Dick and Vito were assaulted by these mentally ill activists, these thugs. Well, I guess I can't really call them thugs. I mean, did you see the guy that was trying to take the sign from Vito? He was really struggling to break that thing. It's time to hit the gym, bud. But the guy that assaulted Dick, that guy's got the Fed stance, the Fed bod going on. The guy even knows to pull the neck gaiter high enough over the top of his head to cover that bald spot. Now that, ladies and gentlemen, is the mark of a true professional. I want to take a moment to rewind and enhance the clip that has Vito in it. I'm not gonna lie, I laughed when I first heard this, and Vito seemed to think it was pretty funny too. It's almost as funny as when the frumpy little goblin creature was screeching "Repent" in Vito's face while banging a tambourine in his face, because they're totally not a cult, guys, come on.
Here to say that jokes are funny, people. Dave Chappelle is a funny guy. I love Dave.
How anybody takes these adult-sized children seriously is completely beyond me. The big problem with this soy boy saying that Vito has a weapon after assaulting him is he was trying to get Vito hurt. Shouting that somebody has a weapon in a place where tensions are already high and mob mentality can take over at the snap of a finger, it can easily cause somebody to do something rash. I mean, these people are already invading other people's personal space. So much for COVID, but I guess they were wearing their paper masks, so they're totally fine. And screaming in people's faces. It's not a leap to assume that somebody could get physical, which of course somebody did with Dick. Wait, no, nobody got physical with Vito's dick. I mean, somebody got physical with Dick's dick. No, wait, that didn't come out right. This pissed off Smurf pushed Dick's face into a concrete testicle and actually caused Dick to get a concussion. These people are psychotic. And guess what? The guy who assaulted Vito and broke his sign, then tried to get Vito beat up, is a Netflix writer. The guy doxed himself in an interview at the same protest. And just when I thought I was done talking about these absolutely idiotic protesters, I see something else on Twitter. I apologize if I sound a little bit different, ladies and gentlemen. I'm recording this after the fact, but I would like to just point this out because I feel that it's important when we're talking about these individuals who are so upset, so morally outraged that jokes are being told. I want you to know who these people actually are. I'm not gonna read these tweets out loud because it would for sure get me banned on YouTube, but I'm just gonna put them up on the screen for you to read. Now, this individual is the leader of the Netflix walkout. She is saying the most vile, racist, homophobic, and sexist things. Everything that she is claiming to be against, she herself is guilty of. What a shocker. It always turns out like this. These faux progressives, which is why I use that term so often, they don't actually believe what they're saying. They just want the attention because the attention leads to money. They're fucking grifters. What we have is a problem with being a victim. It is lucrative to be a victim. You gain status by being a member of this victim class, so everybody is desperate for it because it'll lead to a book deal, it's gonna lead to interviews, it'll lead to social media clout. Absolutely pathetic, but not shocking. What do you think her defense is going to be? Oh, those were just jokes. I was just being edgy. I'm calling it now. I cannot wait for that excuse. Netflix, like many companies, have been infested with these lunatics who are now in charge of the entertainment that we all watch and listen to. There is no question that Netflix is one of many ultra-progressive companies in America, but they are no stranger to producing and supporting content that not only pushes boundaries, but outright shatters them. It shatters those boundaries, like Caitlyn Jenner shattering the glass ceiling, proving that even men who decide that they are women can be the bestest women. Now, that's not me saying that. Caitlyn Jenner actually did win Woman of the Year. Netflix has shows like Super Drags, which is an adult cartoon show about drag queen superheroes saving the world. They have Big Mouth, which is a show about junior high students, cartoon show by the way, going through puberty with a ton of emphasis on sexual content. Now, I'm not clutching my pearls here, saying that these shows shouldn't exist. I think that's an argument that more conservative types would make. These shows just aren't made for me, and I think they're fucking stupid. But if somebody else finds them entertaining, then that's great. But you have these psychotic, ultra-progressive types getting made fun of once, and it's time for all-out war. It is a scorched earth, salt the earth approach. They cannot handle it. They want to shut down anything that doesn't perfectly align with their worldview because they know that comedy can make people think. Comedy is oftentimes satirical. It parodies things that we tend to hold in high regard and things that we respect. But these brainlets, they can't handle that. They want to shut down anything and everything that doesn't perfectly fall in line with their worldview because they do not have the mental capacity to cope with comedy. If these people can watch this stand-up special and listen to Dave's story about his friend and fellow comedian, a trans woman, killing herself because she stood up for Dave online and she was mocked and ridiculed for it, there's no hope for a rational conversation with these people because they take everything at such a surface level. And this is the very same community, the trans community, that all of these fucking idiots at Netflix say they're standing up for. They harassed a trans woman to the point that she felt like she needed to end it all. These people, these activists, faux progressives, they only care about one thing, and that's silencing those that don't agree with them, that don't shut their fucking mouth and fall in line. Silencing comedy, one of the few equalizers that we have in this world, something that mature adults of all cultures, races, creeds, and backgrounds can just take a few minutes out of their day to laugh at, which includes laughing at each other, laughing at ourselves, just laugh at how fucking crazy things are, and realize that we are not all that different from one another. And it is a fucking shame that we're letting people like this, these lunatics, try and take that away from us. Because make no mistake, these people want nothing more than to other you, to put you into a box and label you as a bigot, as an istophobe. You could be the gayest, transiest, polypansexual out there, but if you don't toe the line, then you become the enemy. Now you might think enemy is a bit of a strong term to use here, but what you saw in these videos, people being physically assaulted for having signs like, "Jokes are funny," is a level of derangement I don't think most folks thought was even possible. And one last thing before I wrap this video up. I love how Netflix's CEO comes out in support of Dave, but then a day before the employee walkout, this spineless puddle of cum walks it back and says that he was wrong to stand up for a man who's there to tell jokes. Now they're even talking about removing Dave's images from Netflix offices. What, are they afraid that he's going to jump off the poster and choke a bitch? I don't understand. These people want to bully you into submission, and if you watch this special, Dave even says he's not telling jokes about the gay community anymore. He doesn't feel that it's worth it. This has affected him, and that's exactly what these people want. They're not there to listen to what Dave is actually saying. They hear a joke and they think, wow, he must hate gay people, he must hate trans people, when that could not be farther from the truth. But nuance and deeper meaning, this is not something that the woke crowd is good at handling. They can't decipher messages. For all the talks of dog whistles, they're certainly pretty shit at picking up on deeper meanings. And that's what I have for you today, ladies and gentlemen. As always, I want to know what you think about all of this. Do you think Dave is transphobic? Has he crossed the line with his stand-up special? Or did you enjoy the special? Let me know down in the comment section below. While you're at it, leave a comment with your favorite comedy special or one that I should check out. Really need a good laugh after doing this video. If you like the video, be sure to drop a like, and if you haven't already, be sure to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss a single Metal Gear Mando video that you so desperately need. Before we go, I want to give the biggest shout out to all of my amazing channel members. You guys are awesome. If you want to become a channel member, just hit the join button below where this video is playing. Thank you all so much for watching, and until next time, stay metal, and I will see you in the next video.
Bed with a goblin. Kissing goblins. Ingratiating goblins. In bed with a goblin. Kissing goblins. Ingratiating goblins.